Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you are brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And we are in Newcrest. Yeah, we haven't been here before. Well, actually, that's kind of a lie. We definitely have been here before. However, you did not hear me talk about it. So I have not been in Newcrest since I started my channel. Like, it's been that long, like a little over a year. I haven't been in here really, I don't think. Like, not permanently, not to do something that was really for my save or something that was in, I don't know, that was like really detailed. And the houses that are surrounding the home that I'm building right now are some of the very first homes that I ever built as a builder, if I can even call myself that, in The Sims 4. So a lot of these homes look a little less decorated. They're not as intricate. They may even not look as realistic. As I kind of look at them now, I was like, oh my god, what the heck was I making? Like, what was I going for? So it's kind of weird to be back here and to build something that looks entirely different from everything else that I started here. So this home is, I don't really know if there's a particular style. I'm not too savvy with different architectural styles, honestly. I really just go off of what I hear other people kind of call them and just in my own kind of minimal research. But I'm not really sure what I would call this. I end up just calling it the Hollylock suburban home. Like that's what I got because I use a lot of Hollylocks and they were pretty much like the centerpiece for me for this entire home. I don't know. It's not a colonial by any means. At least I don't think it is, but it definitely could be. I don't know. What do you guys think this is? I don't really know what style of home this is, but I'm basically going to make Newcrest kind of a fancier Willow Creek, if that makes any sense. Like, there are definitely some giant colonial estates that I have in my save file in Willow Creek, and it works for maybe some of the neighborhoods, but not a lot of them. So Newcrest is going to be just kind of more upscale, if that's even fair to say. It kind of seems like it's that way. All of the very flat and not dimensional homes that are off in the distance in this world that don't really, that you obviously can't access, right? They're just kind of there for decoration. They all kind of look quote unquote like this. Like, they're bigger. They're more so like upscale homes. I'm assuming it's a little bit more expensive to live in Newcrest. I'm not really sure. That's just kind of the vibe that I get. So I wanted to make kind of like these bigger homes, maybe some homes that have been there for a very long time. Maybe they're new. I don't really know. I don't have the whole thing figured out yet, but I did really like the way that this home came out. I was going a little bit out of my comfort zone with this. I used tons and tons of like ivy and just different vines and branches that end up just climbing up the brick and the siding of this home, and I thought it was really pretty. And I used a decent amount of Discover University stuff in this build, and the centerpiece really was that door. I love that door. To me, that is the stereotypical like suburban front door. I don't know why, but that just really resonates with me. And I love that door, but it's the medium wall height, and that means that I can't use it in the typical way that I build. I don't typically build with the medium wall height. The only times that I do is because I'm forced to with certain like doors or windows. In fact, in my 100 baby home that I did, I actually used a medium wall height door from Discover University. And what happened, if you guys didn't notice, if you have or have not seen that video, what happened is I ended up having the move objects on cheat, so I put the door there, and then I put it down to the smallest or the shortest wall height, and the top of the door pokes through the floor on the second floor in the teenager's room. So I covered it with an end table because it looked like crap. So I was very sad, and I was not going to make that sacrifice in this home because this door is actually even taller than the other one that I used for that build. It was like the townhouse door, I think is what it's technically called, so I just didn't want to make the sacrifice. But as you can see, I am spending a lot of time placing a bunch of this jungle adventure kind of like ivy flower stuff all over the place, and I'm still going to tip my hat to beautiful plum bobs, i.e. Rachel, because she basically indirectly taught me that you can like layer ivy and it looks beautiful, because she does such a good job with that. So Rachel, I'm tipping my hat to you, because that is pretty much the only reason why I now feel comfortable doing that in a lot of my builds, And I even used some of this ivy to kind of partially cover some of the windows, which makes me uncomfortable. Like, it made me twitch a little bit, but at the same time, I thought it looked really, really nice. I was also a little uncomfortable with these dormer windows that I put on because some of the roofing pieces just, I don't know, they don't line up with the rest of the roof, and they look really small and like thin. I don't know, they look really tiny and kind of awkward, but I thought it worked once everything was decorated. So you guys will definitely have to let me know what you think. I also had trouble picking out flowers to potentially put in these little kind of like, I don't know what they're called. They're technically considered like wall decorations, right? The little balconies, if that's what you can even call them. Yeah, I couldn't find a flower pot that would actually fit in there, so I leave them empty, and I think there's plenty of ivy there anyway, so you don't really need additional flowers. But I wanted to kind of save the flowers as well for a lot of the landscaping. Now, the front yard is very congested. And as I watch this footage back, I'm kind of sitting here like, well, it's a little crowded. Like, those hydrangea plants are a little much. And it looks like there's basically like nowhere to really walk. I don't know. It seems like it's very congested, but I think it's really, really pretty. I would definitely consider this overgrown, right? I mean, there's stuff everywhere, but I think it's really nice. I don't know. You guys will definitely have to let me know what you think of the landscaping, because I think I went a little over the top, but it just really fit the home. It seemed almost kind of whimsical. And I'm actually working on another build right next door to this one that's also kind of a little whimsical. I don't really know what look I'm specifically going for at this point. I'm honestly just having an absolute blast trying new things and just seeing how they come out. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it too. Now I'm kind of fleshing out the front walkway, and I end up going into the debug menu and pulling out these kind of jagged stone fences. They kind of look like waves, which I thought was really pretty. However, it started to almost look a little too whimsical, maybe a little too casual. So you'll actually see as I kind of work on some other elements of the home, I change out that fencing to just kind of like a low-lying stone fence, because I did want there to be some distinction of what the lot was, like what the yard was compared to, you know, the houses next door and stuff like that, because obviously when you're in there playing, you don't see the line that outlines the lot. I mean, that would make sense, but I did want there to be some kind of distinction. So I do put the brick down again in this backyard. However, when you see me start laying out the floor plan, you may or may not notice that that brick actually changes. I think it's a stone low-lying fence from Jungle Adventure, oddly enough. I thought it looked really, really nice. I think it worked. It was a little bit darker, so sometimes what I notice is that when I start going for a color scheme, I go either super light or super dark, and I have trouble mixing the two. And I'm talking about like wood tones and different like flower colors and even different colors of like shrubbery. Like if I'm going really light, it's gonna be all really light, or it's gonna be really dark, and I so struggle with kind of mixing the two. So the fence is actually darker, which I think contrasts the very white ivy on the home itself, as well as the hydrangea. I don't know. That was my thought process, is that it contrasts it really nicely. It actually, like, the goal wasn't to make this really a private yard. If I wanted it to be private, I would have fenced it in with like a higher fence so the neighbors couldn't see, you know, if they were doing stuff in the backyard, but I didn't really want to make it super private. It was really just to define where that lot was for myself and just to make it like its own standalone lot. I don't know why, I just really like doing that. But now we're going on to the interior, and I was really happy with the floor plan in this build, because typically with builds like this that are super square, I put the staircase right in front of the front door, and then I just make a bunch of cube rooms all over the home. And granted, some of the rooms are still cubes. I'm not gonna say that I steered away from that, but I did make it just a little bit different for myself. I mixed it up a little bit, and I think that this home is unique compared to maybe even some of my others. I mean, I try to make all of my builds very unique, but it's challenging because we all have maybe that flooring or wallpaper that we really like, or certain color schemes that we really enjoy. And I didn't want this home to be super formal either. I wanted it to be pretty and calm and casual and kind of cozy. So first I tried to actually pick the curtains, which I don't typically do right off the bat. I typically try to pick out like a couch or something and then match everything with it. But this time I decided to pick the curtains, and I end up changing them. So, kind of making that distinction is null at this point. And at first I was even going to go for kind of a mid-century vibe. I think that was really carrying over from the diner build that I posted on the channel a couple of days ago, but I end up going for something just very, very cozy and almost a little chic. So I do use my favorite cats and dogs couches because you know what? It's been a hot minute since I used them. I feel comfortable with it. So I grabbed the cats and dogs couches, and I really just had the urge to use a round dining table. I have used one recently, I believe, but I can't exactly recall what build that may have been. I don't really remember at this point, but I also really wanted to use these dining chairs from Cats and Dogs. I probably haven't used these in a build yet, at least I don't think, maybe as like a desk chair, but I haven't really expressed how much I freaking love those. I love those. They're so, oh gosh, I'm gonna kind of kick myself for this, so farmhouse chic. They are though. I absolutely adore them. Like, I want chairs like that in my dining room. I love the buttons up and down the back, because what I'm assuming is that those are just like chair covers and you can like throw them in the wash, and it's super easy to take care of them. You're not trying to like clean fabric and stuff. So maybe that's why I'm so drawn to them. That's like the adult coming out in me, is that they're so easy to wash and you can just take them off. And right here, I used some Jungle Adventure cabinets. I used some Jungle Adventure cabinets and I put them down on the floor. And then I used the Island Living ottomans, raised them up, I think just one with the Control 9 key, and they're fully functional. I made functional window seats, and I'm so stoked about it because that is just something I feel like we're missing. So we do have kind of those little like 3-tile, I don't know, like rounded sofas. That's not right. They're not rounded, but they're supposed to go in like little turrets, like little divots in 3-tile little divots, I suppose. And those are so hard to use for me. I don't get a chance to use them as much. And I'm really kind of missing just like flat window seats like that. I really am. Like, you can put some ottomans there, you could put a couch there, but I just really, really loved the idea of it being like built into the wall. So I wanted to do that. And here I was trying to do some kind of like backsplash, I suppose, for the fireplace, but it just looked way too awkward. But I thought the wall looked kind of empty, and I ended up just trying to move on through it, and I decorated the mantle, at least on the fireplace, and hang the TV. So this is, their little living space. And I really liked the pop of blue that I ended up using with those lamps. So the color scheme is very kind of like light wood. The floor and the paneling on the walls, as well as the archways, are darker, but I used very light woods, and I've been really drawn to these lately. I just think because they're so bright and happy. All of the wood in my home is white, like it's distressed and white. If you guys have not picked this up already, I love farmhouse chic. That is basically my favorite style ever. I have not diverted from it in a couple of years, so yeah, I really like it. And I try to avoid building in that style though, because if I let myself do that in The Sims, every single build would be the same. That's where we would end up. But now I'm adding the little kind of like parenthood activity board there with some of those little poofs, which we know are end tables, but I'm just going to imagine they're just like little seats. And I use those kind of, I don't know, they're kind of modern lights, but I thought it fit really well here. And I was able to get in a grand piano too, which I thought was really, really nice. It's a really nice place to keep it right in the front room here. There's so much sunlight that pours through these windows, and I just thought it was really pretty. So maybe mom or dad, because this is a family home, maybe mom or dad plays the piano, or it was kind of like a hand-me-down in the family. And maybe neither of the parents play piano, but maybe they are actually having their kids take piano lessons, and they just get to practice on the grand piano, which is really nice. I actually really liked that idea more. So maybe grandma on someone's side handed it down because she taught piano for years and years and years. Like, that's what she did for her job. And then maybe grandma passed away and they passed the piano on to the grandchild, and now the grandchildren. Right, yeah. So the grandchildren, they passed it on to the grandchildren, and now the two grandchildren actually take piano lessons, and they get to play on the piano that their grandma used to play on. I really liked that idea. I don't know why. It might be because my mom actually had a baby grand for a very long time. It was not passed on in the family by any means, but my mom is a very good piano player. She will deny it. She'll deny it because she hasn't played in a while now, but she actually plays maybe like 4 or 5 different instruments, maybe more. I honestly can't remember. Like, she's one of those people that can play guitar with harmonica, and like at the same time she can play bass. I don't know if she's really dabbled with drums, but I think she used to play some kind of wind instrument as well, and she can play piano, so she can play a lot. And that's kind of what made me think about it, is we used to have a baby grand and she would play all the time. As a kid, I kind of got annoyed because, well, she would do it all the time in practice, and I didn't understand practicing things really, because I fought practicing piano when I took lessons, to the point that I didn't take them past the age of 6, I don't believe. And yeah, I don't know, now it's actually a very fond memory, so that'll make my mom happy. But now I'm working on the kitchen, and it is very casual, though they do have 2 stoves/ovens. I thought that was kind of a nice touch in this bigger home. So maybe if mom and dad both wanted to cook, they would actually have a place to do it at the same time, which was kind of nice. And I also gave them a bar. I don't typically include a lot of bars in my builds. I tend to do it more so in apartments, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I gave them a bar because I really didn't know what to put on that wall. But I did turn around the Jungle Adventure bar, and I actually put kind of like that little storage shelf there as well, and it kind of has the little plate decorations and some wine glasses, I think, hanging from it. And then I actually make a stack of wine bottle storage. So maybe this couple also really likes fancy wine, so they like trying a bunch of different wines. That's kind of their thing. If we had the ability to create wine in The Sims 4 like we did in The Sims 3, where they could go to Champs de la France? No, Champs de la Sims, or was that the university? I don't know. They're able to go to basically Sims France, right? They're able to go to Sims France, and they can actually like crush grapes and make their own quote unquote juice, which I freaking loved. Or nectar, that's what it's called, nectar. I loved that so much, and I know that there is a mod out there now where you can do that in The Sims 4. I don't have it myself, but I was thinking that they were basically nectar connoisseurs as well. And I was envisioning that they had a dog or two. So I do go ahead and place the little food bowls there with some treats on the shelf there with the leashes that are hanging off of it, because I just think that's a really nice touch. It's kind of like the little dog area. I also toss up a few more decorations in the kitchen, and of course switch out the lights, which I honestly save that usually to the end of my builds, but I felt compelled to kind of do it throughout the build this time, so I didn't forget. I also put a mirror at the top of the stairs, and I create a little bit of a gallery wall leading up the staircase. I've done this before with some of the Moschino Stuff Pack digital frames, because my thought is that I would put pictures of the Sims family in those frames, and they would just kind of switch out every now and then, which is a really nice touch. However, I don't want to do that for a lot of builds, because unless you guys end up downloading my save file, those are going to be completely empty. And granted, you could of course fill them with pictures of your own Sims, but if you don't want to do that, then that means that you have a bunch of empty frames on the wall, and I just didn't want to do that. But now I'm working on the downstairs bathroom, and every bathroom in this home is a full bathroom. So oddly enough, it's a 2-bed, 3-bath. It's kind of flipped. Usually I can do like 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, but I flipped it this time because I don't know, I just felt like I had the room. And every bathroom is actually completely different, which is also a little bit, I don't know, it's deviating from my normal practice where all the bathrooms are essentially repeats, but I kind of avoided that this time because I was really just having fun with a bunch of different items and trying to see what I could come up with. So I really liked this bathroom. It was really bright and happy, and I actually just gave them the bathtub downstairs. Maybe this would be like a guest bath or something, right? It's a full bath, but obviously this is the one downstairs, so if they do have people over, this would be where they would go. So they do have like some counter space here next to the sink, and they have a laundry basket, though that is not the functional laundry basket. I realize that sometimes I hate the laundry functionality in The Sims. And then there are other days that I absolutely love it. This was a day that I hated it, so I didn't do it. I didn't give them like a washer and dryer or any functional laundry baskets or anything. So that's the one that we got with base game. And I just thought it was kind of a nice touch. And I also had those runner rugs from Seasons in a swatch that I haven't used before, which was really nice. And now we're kind of moving on to what I was first envisioning as a potential office, then envisioning as kind of a mudroom, and then it ended up being like a kids activity room. That's what we end up sticking with. So I tried to kind of make like an L-shaped desk. I was going to kind of push a bookcase into the corner there. That was kind of the connector piece, but yeah, I don't know. It just didn't really seem to work, and I wasn't really sure what I didn't know what the odds were that they would be able to sit at both of those desk chairs. So I use my little built-in bench idea here. I put 2 benches here and some flowers and some books in the middle. And then what I end up doing is I think I get a bookcase or 2 in here, but there's also going to be some kids' toys. I was going to do like an easel and some other kind of adult activities, but I get a dollhouse in here, a giant stuffed animal, and the block table, which I can't remember if toddlers can use that or not. I thought it was in the toddler section, but I can't remember. I know kids can because they bring out like the instructional book and they start building things with the blocks. I'm not sure if toddlers can though, but I know that adults can if they have like the childish trait. So that's kind of fun. But I do put those little like locker bookcases on each side. So it's not necessarily like a formal room by any means, but it's at least a little kids activity room that's off of the main living room and dining space. And that door leads to the back porch as well. And then I kind of just toss some more decorations downstairs and move on up to the second floor. And this was really fun. So like I said, I made the bathrooms all different, and I was thinking that this couple just had 2 children. At first I was leaning towards 2 girls, but at the same time it could be absolutely any gender of child that you would like. The room is not decorated for one or the other. For me, it's actually pretty neutral, and it has just those soft woods that I've been using downstairs as well. And I thought it was really pretty, but first I try to decorate the awkward landing space. For me, it's always awkward, so I do another built-in little bench here with just some artwork above it, and then I end up putting a console table on the opposite wall, as well as I think a mirror at the top of the stairs. So they have one on their way up the stairs and at the top of the stairs. There's a lot of looking at yourself, so it gives you a lot of opportunities to see if you missed something as you were getting ready for the day, as you head out the door. Maybe that was my thought. I don't really know. Maybe it was a way for the parents to kind of like check on their kids sneaking around the house. I don't know. You can get real creative with that. But I loosely decorate this console table here, and you probably noticed there as I changed the swatch of the toy stuffed dog downstairs to match this statue, because I was thinking that they had maybe 2 Dalmatians. So they have like Dalmatian toys and statues and stuff throughout their home. And then they also have that dog height chart that came with, lo and behold, my first pet stuff, which I'm growing to love the pack, you guys. I'm gonna be honest. I first decided to work on the parents' bedroom, and I was kind of struggling. I still wanted it to be bright and welcoming, just like downstairs. So I got the idea to make a headboard for this bed, of which I always hide the headboard of. It's not a high headboard, as you can see, but I always hide it. So I decided to grab a couch to kind of frame it a little bit, and then I grabbed 2 more couches to create this kind of like tuft headboard. And it works. It works perfectly fine, and it makes me so happy. And of course, the final touch, which I shared a screenshot of. I shared a screenshot of this yesterday over on our community tab here on YouTube, and I used this little decoration here from Island Living and kind of made a quote-unquote 4-poster bed. I thought the swatch worked perfectly with the colors in the bed and in the quote-unquote headboard. I also used the same rug from downstairs, and it just looked so cozy and bright and breezy, and a lot of sun does actually pour into this room, and I just really liked how it came out. So I hope that you guys enjoy that too. I'm gonna try even more tricks with stuff like that, because there are so many cool objects or I suppose, kind of sort of objects that you can make with a lot of things that we have in game to kind of make up for things that we don't have, I suppose. But I thought it came out really nicely, so hopefully you guys do like that. And I also put an ottoman at the end of the bed, give them a full-length mirror, and just kind of decorate with some plants and random clutter. I also hang some artwork on each side of the bed, so it's not as empty as it kind of looks right now. And then I also give them an easel and a guitar, because as I was moving through it, it felt as though mom and dad were pretty artsy. I think they were very much creatives compared to, I don't know, maybe more technical oriented Sims, if that translates correctly. Not really sure, but I don't know. I think they're pretty eclectic at the same time. And this space here is actually the office. So I did want there to be an office. I don't know, maybe they run their own like art gallery or something like that. And, you know, they do need kind of like a business space to escape the kids and have some privacy to do some work. So I do put just one single desk here with a computer facing out into the master bedroom. And I end up putting some of the exact same curtains that I put on the windows on each side of the archway. So maybe if they did want a little bit more privacy, they could just close the curtains. Granted, that's not going to block out any noise, but I thought it was at least a nice touch to make an effort to have more of a private space if it's needed. And actually, on second thought, those are not the same curtains. Those are the cats and dogs curtains. But I really liked it, and I kind of put just like an armchair here and 2 bookcases, as well as some artwork and a stereo. Now, I did notice that the ottoman I placed under the desk prevented my sim from sitting there, so I don't know, you could move it if you'd like to. I would recommend it if you wanted to actually use the computer, but there were some moments as well that it wasn't a problem. Like when they were already on the computer, they were able to then get up and come back and sit. So it was like the initial getting them to sit down that was the problem. It was really odd. This happens a lot for me since I have move objects on, so I always have to test things out. So if something doesn't work, definitely just let me know, and I want to make sure that I can make the adjustment for anything in the future if I end up trying to make the same objects. That's why I thoroughly tested that 4-poster bed and the kind of like built-in little seating areas as well. I wanted to make sure those worked before I was like, guys, I made window seating, it's great, but it doesn't work. That was not my plan. I wanted to make sure it worked. And now I'm working on their master bathroom. So in their master bath, which is an ensuite, they do not have a shower tub combo, they just have a shower. And I was willing to make that sacrifice. You could, of course, put the combo in there and just kind of swap some things around, but they have the tub only downstairs, they have the shower only here, and I believe in the kids' bathroom as well, I think they only have a shower or just a tub. No, they just have a tub. So there's 2 tubs and 1 shower in this. And I don't know, can anyone tell me if it actually takes them longer to take a bath compared to a shower? I feel like the time is the same. It always just seems longer for me, and I don't know why. But now I'm working on the kids' room, and like I said, I do think they have 2 kids, and at first I was thinking they were 2 girls, but it of course can be any gender of sim that you would like because the room is very neutral. I was just thinking that they were kids. Initially I was gonna maybe even try for like 1 kid and 1 teenager, but I just kind of got lost in decorating for kids because I love doing that, and I just went with it. So I give them a dresser and a bookcase, and I don't know, the room was kind of oddly shaped, so I wanted to get the main bedroom stuff out of the way, and I end up decorating the dresser a little bit, and I go back and forth with a room divider that we got with Parenthood. I try it out a few different places, I end up scrapping it, and then I bring it back. So when I'm playing around with it here, know that it ends up staying, and it ends up staying right next to the bed that I'm toying around with, because I end up putting a desk on the opposite side. There's 1 desk for the 2 of them. There's no computer. I was thinking that if they did have the journals or if they were doing their homework, that would be a place where one of them could sit. And maybe one of them is really into space and one of them just really loves animals. I don't really know. I just wanted some kid objects because I wanted it to be very cutesy. And I give them each a little side table here, and then I decorate above their beds with posters and stuff like that. Maybe these were their favorite movies. I don't really know because I do the kids movie poster as well as this one. I haven't read the description for that one with this redheaded woman being very excited. I just really like it. It almost looks like it could be a book cover as well. That was a thought of mine when I first saw it, but I really like it. So they each have a poster above their bed and then just some random kind of like taped on posters as well. And this is when I decide to bring the divider back and put a desk here. They also have a little love seat. I think I used the one from Tiny Living actually. And I give them one of those poofs again, which is a end table, not a chair, which just kind of makes me sad and doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't think it makes sense. It would be great if it was a chair. I know there's custom content out there that makes it a chair, but it would be great if the actual thing was a chair. And that's all I will say about that. But I really, really liked this area. I haven't used this purple swatch recently, so it was kind of nice to tie that in here because it is just a little bit more fun and colorful than the rest of the bedroom itself. So that was really nice. And I put another height chart there because I could think of nothing else to put there. Their bathroom is also kind of bright and colorful, and this setup is a little bit unique compared to my other bathrooms. So I was kind of proud of myself because I went outside my comfort zone yet again in this bathroom. So they do have some counter space next to the sink, and I end up actually putting kind of like the cube wardrobe organizer in here. I think it came with the toddler stuff pack or something like that. It's really meant for toddler rooms because it would make sense. All the little toddler clothes could fit in there, right? But I put it in here because, ironically, I actually have one kind of like that, though it's just a rectangle. It's not like diagonal, it doesn't like slope down or anything. I have one in my bathroom to organize all of our stuff. So I was like, wow, this is actually realistic. I have this. And I give them just a bathtub. And of course it is a full bathroom. So there's a toilet in here and everything. And I kind of put some brighter artwork and everything on the walls, as well as a full length mirror, because I feel like kids, when they're starting to pick out their own outfits, can look a little crazy. So I thought it would be nice if they had a full length mirror to kind of check out their outfits as they got ready so they didn't look crazy. I don't know. That was a weird thought that I had. And I really like their bathroom. It gets a lot of sunlight and I thought it was really pretty. And then we move on to the backyard, which there really isn't much. There's a planter box or two, a bird feeder, there are a couple of chairs, and I think I tossed a bicycle out there just because I love them. I love that that's like an added element that we can have now, even in gameplay as well as in builds. And I also give them monkey bars, which I don't do often. Typically, I like to add the swing set because I think that that's a more fun piece of equipment for kids, like at least it was for me, compared to the monkey bars, which take a lot of strength. And I also add a seating area out here on the porch. I give them a grill as well as the flower arranging station. And it's just a really nice, cozy little place. They don't have much of a backyard, but at least they have this big kind of porch to hang out on, maybe entertain on, or at least just enjoy some nice weather. And that is actually pretty much it for the build. So thank you guys for hanging out for a very long voiceover, but a really fun build, hopefully. And I will catch you guys next time I post a video, which will be, well, probably very soon. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds. Because without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground. You're lighting up the way, I can see the road ahead of me. I won't be stumbling in the dark. Your eyes are shining like the stars. I was down until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day. And I just wanted to say that you can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high. I can see the sun staring at you when you make that smile. I'm moving closer to you now. I can't get close enough somehow. And I was down until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day. And I just wanted to say that you can take me high. Feels like I can fly. need anybody, I don't need anybody else. No one will ever take me, no one will ever take me away from you. I promise I will hold on to you. I don't know what I'd do without you. Without you. You can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high. Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds. Because without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground. You're lighting up the way, I can see the road ahead of me. I won't be stumbling in the dark. Your eyes are shining like the stars. I was down until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day. And I just wanted to say that you can take me high. Feels like I can fly.